Hi, my dear friends. It's so good and exciting to be back here again. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, Liz, I appreciate your time here and support. And, it is such a shame that in Nigeria today, that after about a year, we're getting the report of why Vice President Yemi Osinbanjo's helicopter crashed. I think this is so poor of any nation that the report of why the helicopter of the vice president crashed about over a year. The report is just coming out as to why that helicopter actually crashed. Man, if he had died, what would they have said? They would have just been bringing the report after a year. This is so bad and absurd. I don't expect this from a growing economy like Nigeria, because, of course, Nigeria should have grown past this level of a faulty or slow investigation as to what happened, because this is so sad. A vice president, that is why you see so many cases regarding to a lot of Nigerians just swept under the carpet because no one feels responsible to that. And imagine that of the vice president. The report is just coming out after about a year or over a year, because it happened back in February 2019, and this is July. What are we saying? We're even over July and the report is just coming. Anyway, guys, I'll bring you details of what actually happened and why the helicopter crashed on that particular day. But before then, guys, just as we do it right here, if you haven't subscribed, please do, and ensure that you turn on your notification bell, and don't forget to give our video a thumbs up. Okay, guys, let us dive right into the details as to why Vice President Yemi Osinbanjo's helicopter crashed last year. The Accident and Investigation Bureau (AIB) on Tuesday explained in details what led to the crash of the helicopter conveying Vice President Yemi Osinbanjo to a political campaign in Kaba, Kogi State last year. On February 2, 2019, a chartered helicopter belonging to Rèvélátíoñ Helicopters conveying Osinbanjo and his team for a campaign in Kogi State suddenly crashed in Kaba, but all 12 people on board escaped unhurt. After over 1 year of investigation, the AIB came up with its findings saying that the flight crew lost visual contact with the ground and external surroundings, which led to the crash. According to the Commissioner of AIB, Akin Olateru, on board were 12 persons, including the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, his entourage, and 3 crew members, pilots, co-pilots, and an engineer. He said the flight crew stated that they sighted the intended landing area as a result of the cloud of residual dust generated by the downwash of a police helicopter, saying that after sighting the football field, the flight crew approached with the speed of 20 feet to about 100 feet and entered the hover to land. At about 50 feet above the ground level, a brownout set in. The flight crew lost visual contact with the ground and external surroundings. The co-pilot began radio altitude callouts 35, 30, 25, 20, and 15 at about 14:34 hours. The helicopter experienced a hard landing on the right main landing gear and rolled over onto its right side. All persons on board were evacuated uninjured, he stated. Olateru added that the flight crew encountered a brownout condition during the hover to land, which led to the loss of external visual references, spatial disorientation, and loss of situational awareness, resulting in a misjudgment of distance and ground clearance. The crew tried to control the helicopter's movement for landing. He said the helicopter landed hard and rolled over on its right side, stressing that inappropriate landing technique used, non-adherence to company procedures for known or anticipated brownout condition during landing, and lack of risk assessment, limited landing site preparation, and planning prior to commencement of the flight. So, guys, you can see that it is such a shameful excuse that the vice president would have lost his life sometime last year for things that can actually be prohibited or even tried, or something else could have been tried. And you can imagine that the report is just coming after 1 year. What sort of a nation would do that? You can imagine if the vice president's report could be coming after 1 year. What do you expect of a normal Nigerian? What do you expect? Because we all know that the vice president is, next to the president, and it's just like he is the president, because when the president is not around, he is the one to take charge of anything that would be running in the government. But unfortunately, it seems like Nigerians or the government does not even care about anything, because if it could happen to them, it could happen to anybody. That the helicopter was not properly checked, or the pilot conveying the vice president is not careful, and all the board crew members are just like a daisical and all sorts. But really, it is so sad and absurd that a vice president could experience such a thing, and the report is just coming after 1 year, and the AIB was giving all forms of explanations, and he said he's giving the details of what happened to the helicopter that conveyed the vice president to a political campaign. If within Nigeria the president or the vice president could experience such a thing, what if a private jet is taking the president outside the country? So that means there's likely to be more problems, because if just between Abuja and Kaba, just very close, less than 30 minutes, and they're having such a problem, so guys, there's more problem in the country than expected or than foreseen. Because if the vice president cannot handle these things, that for over a year, on the 12th of February in 2019, and the report is just coming. And report is just coming, from the Accident and Investigation Bureau. It is so poor. It is not commendable of any nation that a vice president, just like you saying an assassin was planned on the president, or a coup was planned on the president, and somehow it was carried out, but they could not find who the culprits were. It will be so poor that after 1 year they are still on investigation on what happened to the helicopter. And according to the commissioner of AIB, he said on board they had 12 persons, and of the 12 persons were the vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and his entourage, and the only outsiders, or perhaps the people that were with them, are the 3 crew members, that is the pilots, the co-pilots, and an engineer. So definitely it's not like they carried a bad product that could have caused that crash. He said the flight crew stated that they sighted the intended landing area as a result of the cloud of residual dust and generated by the downwash of a police helicopter, saying that after they sighted a football field, the flight crew approached with speed of about 20 feet to about 100 feet and entered a hover to land. And somehow, one way or the other, that they did not land well, and that was what actually caused the helicopter to crash. Now, while it got to the ground, the dust was so much that it entered the eyes of it covered the environment, and everywhere became cloudy, that the pilot and co-pilots, as to say, the engineer, could not see any longer, and somehow the helicopter hit something, and that was how it crashed. And I wonder how this could take about over a year for the findings to actually come out. It is unbelievable, and it is despicable that something as small as that could happen, and it took about 1 year. What if it was greater, or if something else was planted in the helicopter? That means it would take them 5 years for them to have come out with a report of what actually happened to that helicopter and the vice president. Anyway, guys, they know how they run their government, because of course, if you don't care about the people, you also be a part of the consequence of whatever you do in any nation. So guys, thank you so much for staying tuned. If you have reservations, you have questions, you have whatever you have to say, please endeavor to drop it in the comments section. We hope that the government do better, and we expect better from the government of Nigeria, because it is our own. So guys, thank you for staying tuned. Do have a pleasant time. Bye for now.